When I was a freshman in high school, 9/11 happened, and I think that kind of planted the seed for my eventual going into the military.
My name is Don Rodriguez. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I went into the military in 1985.
You can't walk through that amount of bloodshed and bodies and black bags and you just can't walk through that and not be affected by it.
We spent 16 months on the ground. We were actually the longest unit to serve in Iraq. And then I deployed to Iraq again in 2009 for another 9 months.
You know, you have to kind of detach from your humanity to do that over there. And you come back and you have a hard time reattaching to normal civilian life.
You could see somebody die on the sidewalk in front of you and step right over them, keep on going. They're not personal to me.
I think the death and the dying that I saw there grabbed a hold of me daily. We were getting mortared daily.
I realized within a few weeks of being there that the odds of any of us living through a year there didn't feel very good at all.
On the second deployment, there was a rocket attack on my base that killed 3 guys and injured another 1.
When the next generation of roadside bombs, the EFP, came in, I was terrified because they would go right through our armor. But even when you're on base, I mean, they're firing rockets in, they fire mortars in.
We'd been there less than 30 days, and we lost 1 helicopter with everybody on board. It was shot down.
Well, I came back injured, came back blind. Really had no support of any family or anything. I felt alone, isolated.
For me, when I got back, life was the same. For my girlfriend at the time, apparently I was very different, very totally changed, and she would tell me this and I never understood it.
I know I lost something, but I'm not really quite sure what it was that I lost.
I had changed enough and didn't recognize it enough that it actually put a lot of strain on my marriage and was one of the factors that led up to what turned into a divorce.
My fiance and I started having some trouble, and I was drinking a lot.
I had bad dreams, panic attacks, anger. I had a lot of anger.
The anger that was there, became my best friend. And if I wasn't angry about something, I was looking for something to get angry about.
Roger was never abusive, but I was afraid of his anger. You start just not knowing what it's going to be like one day to the next.
She didn't know when I would get angry, what I would get angry about, and it would happen so quickly that she wasn't prepared for it.
There is no graduated, scale. It's 0 to 10, that's it.
Something unknown would flare up something in me, and I would lose track of what was going on around me.
I lived on antidepressants, which I have lived on for the last 4 years. I've been on every one that's probably been available.
The life as I saw it inside, if I have to continue life this way, it's not worth living.
I felt lost. I attempted suicide twice. Substance abuse. Just anything that would ease the pain.
I white-knuckled it for about 9 months, and then it, just the nightmares and, the flashbacks, all that stuff just finally overwhelmed me.
They tried putting me through a prolonged exposure, cognitive processing therapy, all the other different therapies that they could possibly think of, and it helped a little bit more, but I was still in a hole.
It's not too personal a question to ask you. Can you describe what it felt like being in that hole?
like being in hell. If you, whatever the worst thing you could possibly imagine about hell, that's where I was at.
I think that there's been combat trauma and post-traumatic stress syndrome as long as men and women have been fighting wars. Project Welcome Home Troops started in Southern California about 7 years ago, answering a need for some vets at a vet center who wanted to learn more about breathing, stress management, meditation, in an effort to help them manage their combat trauma symptoms and post-traumatic stress syndrome.
The first time I took the course in Fort Worth, Texas was 10 months ago.
I had no idea what to expect. And as we got into the program and started to do the exercises and do the breathing and so on, I thought, yeah, this might be all right, this might help.
At first I thought it was a little bit hokey, you know, for first coming in. And
the more we got into it, the more it stopped being just a bunch of hippie nonsense. It started dislodging certain internal barriers, I guess, I had built up.
I think also by like day 2 or 3, you started building that camaraderie between the people within the group, which was nice.
The end session there where we did the power breathing was the ultimate. I thought, wow, I was just so relaxed.
You know, right away with the breathing exercises, it taught me how to relax.
It's almost like you have to get way deep down in there with all of that deep breathing, and then it just seems to take it all and you exhale it all out.
My son stopped over and we're shooting the breeze, and he's a pretty direct kid. He says, "Hey Pop, VA got you on some new drugs or what?" So I thought, you know, it's not just me that notices it.
When I finished the course, I didn't notice the changes immediately. Everyone around me did.
I felt like I did before I ever went to Iraq the first time.
It's surreal to have someone come up to you and say something like, "Why are you happy all the time? You're smiling again. Did something change?"
I am a different person now. Just night and day.
You know, you're really, it's like you're you again from 3 or 4 or 5 years ago.
My ex, he said, "I really like this new guy, you know. You remind me of the guy that I had met years ago."
So I can focus and concentrate better when I'm at school, and I can be around other people.
My mood goes like this, as opposed to spikes.
The particular techniques that we teach are very effective and very popular with veterans. Number one, because they like learning something that they can do on their own. They're very self-reliant, independent people. Number two, it's preferable to a lot of people to other treatments like psychiatric drugs or long-term psychotherapy. And number three, it's highly effective, and they like doing it in a class with other vets. They bond with other vets, they do the program ongoing with other vets, and many of them now are out finding other vets that need to take the program.
I don't know, the breathing just opened up something in me where it's just, I could just feel better about myself. I realized that there was some things I may have done, but that I had to do in order to survive, in order to be here today. If not, I wouldn't be here.
Just on a completely practical level, I sleep at night, and I don't have to take a handful of meds to do it.
I'm not taking any medication for anxiety. I'm not taking any sleep aids. I'm not taking any meds. And that is not a giant step, that's a giant leap.
Now I'm a teacher for Project Welcome Home Troops, which is great. Sharing this information, these techniques and the knowledge, seeing the change in people, I think, is the biggest driving force.
About a week before I came on this course, I was in the hospital for 5 days. Major depression, really didn't give a damn if I lived, you know. I really think that I have improved about 75% in just the last 2 months.
I'm going to keep doing it. I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works, but it works for me.
And that's where this program really probably helped me more than anything, is it kind of gave me myself back, you know.
At the path that I was going, prior to having done the exercise with you guys, I don't think I would have made it 10, 20 years. So when you're asking me now 20, 30 years down the line, I'm looking at it as a present, something that's just a gift that's been given to me. Maybe one more chance to get things right.